Welcome to Wisdom Wednesdays. Today we are looking at Proverbs chapter 10, verse 2. And here's what it says. Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. Once again this week, I read this one verse and instantly knew that there was no need to add any more verses to it to look at it. This is one of the super cool things about the Proverbs, how so much can be said in one little pithy sentence. First, there's the warning part of the verse. Tainted wealth has no lasting value. This is such a wise reminder. Most of us, at least somewhere along the journey, if not always, have wished we could be rich. Some of us have looked for ways to gain wealth that are not God-honoring. Some have hoped to gamble their way into wealth. Some have taken work that dishonors their own morals or even their own bodies to get money. Some have chosen work or investments that bring harm to others as an income source. Some have stolen to gain wealth. Some have cheated on taxes or otherwise tried to illegally game the system to get ahead. All these things I would say count probably as tainted wealth. And I would imagine the wealth that we gain and then don't honor God by giving a tithe from, that probably counts as tainted wealth as well. It's wealth we've earned or handled in ways about which we would not like to have to answer to God one day. We'd not want to answer to God because of the people who were harmed along the way, or because we've moved in direct defiance of the ways that God has instructed us clearly in Scripture not to go. We'd not want to answer God because afterward we'd see how it blocked us from growing closer to God, or how it gave us permission to go further and further into spiritual darkness. And then the second half of the verse has this great promise. But right living can save your life. Since the first half of the verse is focused in on tainted wealth, I can only assume here that right living speaks to the right ways to get and handle money. So then let's think about the right ways to get and handle money, what they might be. It surely speaks about the jobs we choose and also about the investments that we choose, maybe about the things that we buy even. Since giving to the poor is such a theme in the Bible, I'd say that has to factor into right living. And since tithing is mentioned so much in Scripture, that's surely a thing to be considered. And really, think about saving here. It's not hard at all to come up with multiple scenarios in which having a proper savings account could be literally life-saving. Am I right? Someone said to me once a statement that at the time was downright shocking to me. They said that if you're living on all the income that you make, you're doing it wrong. They said you need to be tithing and you need to be saving. And ideally, you're putting 10% toward each of these. So that means you're living on, at the very most, 80% of your income at any time. Now, full disclosure, I am not preaching at anyone about this. I was a long time coming into obedience on the tithing thing. And even to this day, while I'm saving some of my income, I'm not at 10%. I'm trying, but I'm not there yet. Most people in our culture have not been saving and are not saving now, and that's why we're coming up on a huge cultural crisis, as all of us non-savers will reach old age one day, and then we'll need to figure out how we're going to live with no savings whatsoever. That's a lot to think about, right? If I have stepped on your toes while I'm sharing about this one, just please know it's an uncomfortable one for me too. No accusations here. But I have never yet grown without starting out experiencing discomfort. So the discomfort is good, right? It's a God thing. So before we go, let's say this verse 3 times quickly to start to get it into our heads, to get it memorized. Are you ready? Tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. And again, tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. And one more time, tainted wealth has no lasting value, but right living can save your life. Blessings until we meet again, and may you and I both grow in wisdom regarding the principles laid out in this little proverb in the meanwhile.